guys, Tighebo here, and we're back once again with another chapter of Expect the Unexpected by Arctic Vulpix. Last time we left off, Ruby was still sick. We were just getting to the end of that, and we learned a little more about Ruby as well. So, character development was basically the last chapter. And from what I can gather from this chapter, we're going to be introduced to a new character, a new main character with some other original characters, but they won't be as there. I guess they're just background characters. So, but one is going to be in, and I believe the author, the creator of that character, is going to be helping writing the story. I believe it's Corona Packs they're called. I don't know when they start helping out, but I don't think it's this chapter. But we are getting closer to the toys coming. I believe. So, let's get started. Chapter 19. Mechanic. Things settled into a normal routine after that. School started for Ruby, which kept her busy during the day. She was always there for her night shift, though, ready to start complaining about her work, or tell the store of some elaborate prank that she had gotten away with. The employees resigned themselves to the fact that they would now be working in a prank-filled environment, and a few got very good at avoiding the more annoying ones. Others, well, the complaints box was always overflowing now. No one could deny that she did her job, though. The animatronics were a lot more agreeable now, not shooting death glares at the employees anymore, and being more approachable to those who made an effort to talk to them. Jerry especially was on better terms with them, being the one others went to when they wanted an answer from the bots. He played messenger a lot. Tensions was running high with the bots, though, as the day of the toys' arrival grew closer and closer. One night, a week before the date, Ruby had to be the good and sane friend to calm the bots down after an almost breakdown. She was starting to seriously worry about her friend's state of mind at that point. She, of all people, could spot the signs of trauma, and every time something like that happened, she felt her anger at the toys grow more and more dark. Ruby! Hey! After Ruby! A voice yelling in her ear shook her out of her thoughts. Jeez, Alicia, what's it trying to blow my eardrum? The girl grumbled, rubbing her ear. Alicia pouted. You've been spacing out for about 20 minutes there. Haven't you heard a word I've said to you? You haven't heard a word I've said to her, have you? She waited for an answer, hand running through her light brown, purple-tipped hair in frustration. Nope, Ruby answered, no remorse in her tone as she went back to eating her lunch before the bell rang for class. Ugh! Alicia covered her blue eyes. Ruby! Ruby just grinned as she finished her sandwich. Sorry, Alicia, just got a lot on my mind, she sighed as she leaned back against the wall. Yeah, I noticed. Your pranks have decreased the last few days. Her friend glanced at her out of the corner of her eyes, worried. What's wrong? Ruby shrugged. Work stuff. Alicia rolled her eyes, but knew better than to push. She'd known Ruby long enough to know that if she didn't tell her something, then she wasn't going to. Fine, but you don't have to work Sunday morning, right? We planned a Minecraft marathon. Ruby smirked. I'd never deprive you of Minecraft, my Minecraft-obsessed friend. Alicia's hand went to her shirt subconsciously. Her love of the game was very proudly shown, considering just about all of her t-shirts had Minecraft pictures on them. Nothing compared to your animatronic concession, she shot back playfully, and her two friends laughed. They chatted for a bit longer before the bell rang and they headed off to class. Alicia glanced at her friend again. She really was worried. It wasn't like Ruby did not take every pranking opportunity. She was famous for it, really. Well, at least the pranks hadn't stopped completely. That would be a real sign of trouble. In the distance, an explosion went off. A few people around them groaned, while most of them laughed. A few even high-fived Ruby. She sparked in satisfaction. That was from the science lab, wasn't it? Alicia guessed. Ruby nodded. Glittermine by the door? Another nod. The laughing increased. They all knew Ruby didn't like the science teacher and vice versa. While she was generally well behaved in class, there were a few teachers that managed to get on her bad side. That's why their science post had been like a revolving door since she started there. They didn't even make a turn usually. After school, the two friends walked towards the gate together. Alicia usually got picked up by her brother Stephen, while Ruby walked home with a few of the kids from the orphanage, who were old enough to go to the school. They chatted while they waited for the younger kids. While they were waiting, Ruby's phone went off. She frowned when she saw the manager on her call ID. 1 second, she murmured to Alicia before answering. Manager? Ruby. The poor man had never really gotten rid of that stutter when talking to her. Would it be possible to come in for a few minutes today? She frowned. The manager had never asked her to come after school so far. What for? She asked, giving Ricky a sideways hug when he ran up and smiling at Stephen, who had just pulled up. There's something important you should know, especially before the new electronics arrive, he explained nervously. Ruby's eyes narrowed and nearby students backed up, recognizing when Ruby was getting angry. She thought for a moment. They'd passed Freddy's on the way home. She sometimes stopped there to get supper and fast food night and to say hi to the bots. I'm walking some kids home. Can they hang around while I'm there? She asked, keeping her tone even. There was a sigh of relief on the other side. Yes. They can have some free pizza while we talk. She nodded slowly while the others looked at her curiously. All right, I'll be there in 10 minutes. She hung up and looked at the kids. So, looks like you're getting free pizza, she announced. They cheered and started talking excitedly among themselves. Alicia looked at her quizzically while Stephen waved at the kids with a grin. Manager wants to tell me something, so don't stop on the way there, Ruby explained. Alicia nodded and glanced back at her brother. See you tomorrow then. She smiled at Ruby, who returned the expression and began shooing the kids along. See you, Alicia, Ruby responded. The girl waved and headed off to the car. Ruby knew that Alicia and her older brother would love to drive the whole group home, especially since they had such a big car left to them by their parents. They knew the struggles of being orphans. 22-year-old having gotten custody of his little sister. She'd never be able to climb in, though, and the kids refused to go without her. They preferred to walk home with her after school. We're going to Freddy's? An 11-year-old girl asked. The little girl was, as usual, dressed in something bright pink, bouncing up and down in excitement so that her dark brown hair flew everywhere. Her blue eyes sparkled with happiness. Ruby chuckled and nodded. Yes, Lily. Got to talk to my boss quickly. Yay! I get to see Bonnie! She cheered. And the other kids started talking about their favorite animatronics. Ricky moved to walk by Ruby's side and glanced up at her as she texted Alice about the slight delay. Why do you look so worried? He asked softly, so that the others wouldn't hear. Ruby's smile slipped slightly. Kip was observant. Just some stuff happening at work. That's all. Nothing big, squirt. She shrugged and grinned when he complained about the name. Observant? Yes. Easily distracted? Oh, most definitely. Once at the pizzeria, Ruby reminded them of the rules and set them loose on the place. Before she left the room, she spotted the already tackle-hugging Bonnie, who looked delighted to see her. The box looked around, recognizing the kids from the previous visits, but she slipped out before they saw her. She wanted to find out what the manager had to say before she spoke to them. She knew she could trust them with kids, too, so she wasn't worried as she knocked on the door. Come in, the manager answered, seeming surprisingly calm. Ruby had to try really hard not to laugh when she entered, though. Manager? Why are you, She cleared her throat as she tried to keep control. Why are you hiding behind your desk? The barely visible man was silent for a moment. No particular reason. She coughed to cover a short laugh and cleared her throat again. You wanted to tell me something? Uh, yes, I just wanted to inform you about the new employees that we'll be getting. He studied his way through the words. Ruby tilted her head in confusion. Did he think that she was going to get mad about some new employees? Are you hiring any new night guards? She asked evenly. No, he quickly assured her, well aware of her possessiveness over the job. Then why use your desk as a shield? She asked, generally confused. Well, you see, we needed a new mechanic, and we found one. But she'll only work during the night shift, he explained, seeking out of sight completely. Ruby tensed up. Why would anyone, besides her, request a night shift? And a mechanic too. The bots already had bad experiences with the mechanic. Why do you need a mechanic so badly? She asked, tone growing slightly colder. Toys need some fixing up, he stuttered, voice going higher. Well, that did make sense. Why frown? So they're not going to do anything to my bots? She asked. Poked his head back at me carefully and seemed relieved to see that she wasn't furious. No, she's going to stay on as the head mechanic, but that ties into something else I wanted to talk about. She tilted her head again. I wanted to promote you to be in charge of the animatronics, he explained, finally standing up from his hiding spot. Ruby stared at him in surprise. What? You'll still be the night guard, but anything and everything to do with the animatronics would have to go for you, including repairs. The toys would fall under your authority too. It also comes with a raise. Oh, this position would also put you in charge of the day guards. So, head security too, I guess. He shrugged and offered her a watery smile while she thought about it. Why? She asked eventually. You work wonderfully with the animatronics, he admitted. And we are going to bring in new day guards, so we will need your help in the selection process. She stared at him calculatingly before she suddenly grinned. Sure, why not? I could boss around a couple of adults then. He smiled, wavered slightly at the look in her eyes, but he would take what he could get. The mechanic is going to be there during the night shift most nights then. She'll start from when the toys arrive. Actually, she's here right now, if you'd like to meet her. Ruby nodded, and the manager moved around his desk and towards the door, hands still shaking. Wow, she really had spooked him. But he had a good reason to be scared if this mechanic's intentions were to hurt the bots. They moved for the establishment, and Ruby waved at a few employees and grinned when she saw how the kids were robbing the bots. Foxy spotted her and raised an eyebrow quizzically, but she shrunk and made a later motion. Finally, they arrived in the staff room where a girl was filling out some forms. The first thing that struck Ruby was the wheelchair, although she kept her expressions carefully under control. She had dark, dirty blonde hair and stormy gray eyes. She was currently wearing reading glasses while she squinted at the contract. Wait, was she reading the fine print even? Who did that? Hedy? The manager called. The girl looked up at him and glanced at Ruby curiously. She looked maybe 20 years old. This is our night guard. She's the head of security guard and in charge of the animatronics. I thought it'd be best if you two met before you started working. Anyone could tell that he was nervous. What? But she's a teenager, Hedy asked, confused. She didn't say it with any venom, more genuine confusion, but Ruby still tensed up. Yeah, I'm 16 as of last month. Is that a problem? Ruby's voice, on the other hand, barely hid her scathing tone. Hedy jerked back in surprise at the hostility, and the manager began wringing his hands nervously. She may be a bit young, but she's quite competent, I assure you. She's been here for about 2 months now, I believe, he said diplomatically. Hedy was clearly surprised at the length of Ruby's stay. That's surprising, she admitted. Ruby stiffened again. Wow, she said, no humor in her smile. It usually takes people at least an hour to make assumptions about my capability. Hedy's eyes widened. I didn't mean anything like that. She shook her head, hands raised in a gesture of peace. I just meant I know what goes on here at night, so... She seemed to be struggling to find the words, and immediately stopped when she saw the scathing glare that Ruby threw at her. If you know what goes on here, then why did you insist on the night shift? Ruby asked, eyes narrowed. She really didn't have a good feeling about this, and a shiver raced down her back. Glancing at the corner of her eyes, she caught sight of a ghost trail fading from sight. Great, the ghost brats were out and about. She didn't like this. Did this mechanic claim to her bots? It's distractions. I'm studying during the day, Hedy shrugged, averting her eyes. Ruby, living in a house full of kids, knew when someone was hiding something. Her eyes narrowed further, and Hedy's lips thinned as her jaw clenched. Silence fell over the room while the manager glanced from one girl to the other. Suddenly, Ruby bent, in that way that usually sent the animatronics and employees running. Well then, I look forward to working with you, Hedy. She smiled while the mechanic rolled from her abrupt about face. Yeah, she stammered, looking confused. Just need to say one thing before we become official co-workers. Ruby bent down slightly, so they were on the same level. She dropped her voice, and her smile was razor sharp. You don't mess with my bots. Ever. If they don't want you near them, then you don't go near them. They don't like mechanics, see? And I don't like people that make them upset. Bad things happen to people I don't like. Very bad things. Green eyes held steady with gray eyes, and a flicker of fear passed over Hazy's face and the intensity in Ruby's gaze. After a moment, Ruby smirked and straightened up. Well then, welcome aboard. She turned and snagged a biscuit out of a container on the counter. She had left it there one night, and it contained regular cookies and exploding ones, so there was always a chance of it blowing up in your face. See you around, Hedy. Bye, manager. She waved goodbye cheerfully, ignoring the heavy atmosphere. After Ruby was out of the door, the manager sagged against the wall. Hedy picked the contract back up after taking a deep breath. She seems intense, she admitted. Yes, Ruby is rather protective over the animatronics. She wasn't very happy with the use of the toys coming. He rubbed his face. But she's a brilliant night guard. The animatronics have behaved since she started, except for the pranks. He pulled a face. She also seems reckless and immature. The manager shot her a panicked look. Please don't say anything to upset her. She's the only night guard to have lasted this long. And I'm the only willing mechanic, he shot back coldly. I wonder why. He cringed under her sharp gaze. It wasn't anything like Ruby's scathing looks. Those felt like she was plunging a physical weapon into their bodies. Hazy's was more chilling. What was he thinking? Putting these strong personalities together in such a violent situation was just plain stupid. He said nothing, though, as he handed him the contract and turned to wheel herself out the door. How'd your visit to the warehouse go? He asked nervously. He paused at the door and looked back. It was interesting. I got the repairs done, though. The manager stared down at the contract in his hand. She'd already met the toys. They just hoped Ruby didn't undo her work when they arrived in a few nights' time. Ruby leaned against the wall, watching the kids play for a while. She was thinking over what just happened. She'd already decided that she didn't like this new mechanic. He was hiding something from her. She didn't like that. The guard growled in frustration. She had to admit that she was impressed that the older girl had kept her cool like that, though. Most people wilted when she did that. Sure, she'd been a bit afraid, but that was an instinctual reaction. She rubbed her face before pushing away from the wall to walk over to the nearest box. Freddie turned to her as she approached and looked at her curiously. They're hiring a mechanic who will work during the night shift, Ruby explained flatly. Freddie's expression darkened as he looked up at the hallway leading to the manager's office. I've been promoted, though, she added, getting his attention back on her before he went storming off. Head of security guards and in charge of the animatronics. So she's got to go through me with anything regarding you guys. Her tone softened in sympathy, and he sighed. Bonnie and Foxy are not going to take this well, he admitted. I know, Ruby mumbled, but we'll get through it. She starts tonight. The toys arrive. He nodded while she moved to go fetch the children. She passed Pozo and threw a grin over her shoulder. If she tries anything, though, you've got my permission to go full suit stuffing on her. Freddie chuckled as he shook his head. You're supposed to stop things like that from happening, Ruby, not encourage them. She just shrugged and continued on her way, having some tune to herself while she pried Lift off of Bonnie. And that's the end of chapter 19. As for certain characters, Alicia and Steven were apparently created by Nina, Lolo, and then Lift was created by someone called Natty. So, yeah. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this chapter. If you did, make sure you review. Leave a comment. There, I forgot to mention at the beginning, but Chapter link is in the description below, so you can go leave a review, tell the author how much you like the stories, because they wrote this, send them a love. I guess just comment you could like the video to let me know that you're enjoying it so far and you want me to do more. Not that it would do any difference because I enjoy doing this, but it lets me know that you like that I'm not the only person that likes doing this. So yeah, comment what you like, I guess. Share it with me because I want to know what you like about this, but also share it with them. Leave a review because you can do that. So go do that. Go on. What are you waiting for? Go do that, but wait until the end of the video at least. But yeah, and be sure to subscribe because I upload new videos every Friday. But yeah, and I'll see you guys next Friday with a new video.